بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد نبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome all of you, wherever you are, and welcome you again with your with the fifth lecture of the series of explanation of Surah As-Safat. Today we start with Allah Azza wa Jal saying, after seeking his refuge from the Shaitan al-Rajim, and Noah has called us, and he seeked us, and the best of answering. This happened after Allah has told us that most of the people of the previous generation, they were astray. And when Allah talk about abundance, is described with disbelief, with partners with Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah said they don't believe in Allah and they are putting partners with Allah. And Allah said, go on the earth and see how the punishment of those who were before you, most of them, they were putting partners with Allah or no faith. Allah said a lot of people do not believe. And He said a lot of people, even if you are concerned, they are believers. This is a sign, and a lot of them will not believe. It was they deserve the statement on them because they don't believe. And if you look at most of the people on the earth, they will put you astray from the path of Allah. They are seeking the assumption, and a lot of them are astray. They are wrong, and they do not thank Allah. They do not. They're not grateful to Allah. And Allah Azza wa Jalla say little that they are grateful. And He said that you find a lot of them, they don't thank Allah. And a lot of people, they insist on being disbelievers. And a lot of people in meeting the Lord are unbeliever. This is the description of abundance in the book of Allah. This is the truth, this is the facts. So when Allah mentioned that in this, Allah put the details. Then He said, Noah has called us, and we are the best people who answers. We are the best to answer. He has called us, and we are the best to answer. He is one of the top prophets. He is the second father of humanity. Peace and blessing on him. And his name was a surah in the Quran, Surah Nuh. He stayed with his people 1,000 years, except 50. When they denied him, and his call for them did not keep them except staying away from him, from Allah. He said, oh Allah, I called my people day and night. And that only increased them in running away. And every time I call them to forgive them, they put their hands in their ears. And they put their clothes on top of them, and they insist, and they're stubborn, and they were arrogant. And I called them publicly, loudly, and I told them secretly. He tried everything that a human being could do, but they were wrong. They did not have Allah's mercy on them. Allah said they denied the people of Nuh, they denied our servant. And they said the crazy, and he called, oh Allah, I am being beaten, so give me victory. So Allah sent the heavens with water, and He ordered the earth to bring the water out, and we put him on wood, and it was running with our attention. That was the punishment for those who disbelieve. They all drowned. How easy on Allah Azza wa Jal to get rid of everybody if He wants to. Allah the Almighty said, when He wanted to destroy them, He said, we opened the gates of heavens with the water that was coming down, and we made the earth explode with water. And His order is just like one call with a split of a blink of an eye. And they were drowned. Allah said after they all drowned, oh earth, hold back your water, and the heavens stop raining. And stayed away for the people who are transgressors. Yes, so he called us and we were the best to answer. Here we is to Allah, the king who speak in the plural. And Allah made his offspring to be the survivors. He is the second father of humanity because Allah said only his offsprings survived. The Prophet ﷺ said Sam is the father of Arab and half Habash, and the third one is the father of the Rome. It is a weak hadith. Al-Bani has weakened it from the Tirmidhi book of hadith. So Allah made his offspring are the survivors. One of the scholars said Noah, when he got out of the ship and he had 80 people, they built a place, and then they have a disease. They all died, except Noah and his sons. So he is the father of humanity. And Allah said, we have left for them that it is peace on Noah and humanity. Allah left a good remembrance of Noah and good compliment on those who came after him. Allah kept commended him. We say Noah, peace be upon him, and we mention him with the best of remembrance of a prophet. And that's a compliment from Allah Azza wa Jal. One of the poets mentioned a poetry that life is only minutes and seconds. So leave a remembrance for you. That's another age that the person keeps for himself. It's just a poetry. Again, Allah said this is how we give to our good servants, those who perfect and do the best they can. Allah reward them with the best. Those who submit to Allah, stop with Allah's orders, and stay away from whatever He would you sustain you from. Those who So Allah led the survivors are those who are monotheism, and He destroyed all the others. So none of them had any eye to blink or any news. They're known except with this bad mentioned. And from his people is Ibrahim, from his offspring, from his footstep, from his religion is Ibrahim. And the helpers. So from the people who stayed on who followed him on the true path is Ibrahim, because he was patient on the harm and to support the word of Allah. And that's how all the prophets, they support each other. They continue that they have one religion. They are different in the religion, but the religion is only one, which is Islam, which is monotheism, and to submit to Allah and worship Allah all alone, and to disbelieve in anything else beside that. So Ibrahim came to Allah with a pure heart. He came with the monotheism, that there is no God but Allah, and knows that Allah is true, and there is no doubt about it, and Allah will resurrect those who are in the graves. Ibn al-Qayyim said about the pure heart is the one that is free from monotheism, from putting partners with Allah or disbelief in Allah, and the love of this life is free from anything that keeps him away from Allah, is stay away from any doubt about Allah, from any desire that is against Allah, from any will that try to stay away or contradict Allah's will. But there is no purity except he is free from 5 things: from partnership with something with Allah, or elevation that's against the Sunnah, or desire that against what Allah wants, or unawareness from dhikr, and desire that does not keep you pure, sincere to Allah. And there is so many parts in each one of those that is uncontrollable. That's why the person is always in need to ask Allah to guide him the straight path. Then more in need, more than this call to be on the straight path of Allah. And you're always in need of that. So Ibrahim told his father and his people, what are you worshipping? These are idols you worship beside Allah. You want? He denied the worship of the idols. Allah beside Allah you want? What do you think of Allah, the Lord of everything? What do you think He's going to do to you if you are putting partners with Him? If you meet Him and you have worship somebody else beside Him, Allah does not forgive that He will be put partners with, and He will forgive anything beyond that to whomever He wish. And Ibrahim, when he told the people, worship Allah, fear Allah. This is better for you if you are aware. What you are worshiping beside Allah are idols, and you are making falsehood. What you are worshipping beside Allah does not own any good or bad. So they will not give you sustenance, and seek sustenance from Allah, and do not put partners with Him. So he denied the worship of the idols, and he said, what do you think of the Lord of everything? What do you think He's going to do to you when you meet Him and you have worshipped somebody else beside Him? So he looked in the stars. He wanted to start the evidence when they went to their festivities, and he wanted to stay away with their Lord so he could break it. So he told them, and it is true in his heart, these things that you are. So they left him. This is the saying of the Arabs, as they say, for those who contemplate, he looked in the heavens, meaning he's looking up, trying to contemplate, to think, to have purity in thinking, that I am weak. It was also said that he had الطاعون, the disease, the pandemic of الطاعون. And this is something, it's not lying, that what he said, that he could allow to, when there's a major need for it, of the interest. He did not lie, alayhi salam, except twice in the sake of Allah, when he said that I am sick, so he could break. And when he said that big idol did it, and when he said about Sarah, that's his sister. This is not true lies that you it is called lying, as because it's denied the facts. And now we said no, that to protection mean to say something that has a meaning, but you need some other meaning for it that is contained in it. So it looks like something, but it's different. And this is fooling somebody, but that's only when there is something that is required, not for your special interest, but for the interest, the bigger interest. So he said, even though if none of that, it is not like, but it's not forbidden. But unless you are gaining something that is forbidden, or to take somebody's rights away, this is haram. Some of the explainers of the Quran, they said, he probably talk about he's going to die, or that he is the sick in the heart from the worship of the idols, or seeing those idols being worshipped. So he went to their lords, those idols. He went secretly, very quickly. He said, why don't y'all eat? They put some food in front of it. So he said, why don't y'all eat? They went out for their festivity. They put food in front of their idols so they could bless it. so they could put the blessing in the food. So he went to their place of worship, and all the food in front of them, and there in the front, a big idol, and then one smaller, some closer to each other. Each one has something is smaller. So they put food in front of them, and they said, when we come back, the idols already placed that food. We eat it. So he looked of what they have of the food. He said, why don't you all eat? How come you don't speak? So he starts hitting them with the right hand, meaning he starts beating them with his right hand. That's why he left them in pieces. They were destroyed, except their biggest idol. So they will go back to him and ask him what happened. So when they came back, and they were still in their facility. So when they told them, do you know what you're doing? They did not know what happened, but after verifying, they found out that Ibrahim is the one who did this. So when they came to blame him, he started telling them, you are worshipping what you are making yourself. You worship beside Allah these idols that you made yourself, that you made it with your own hands. Don't you and what you worship beside Allah, don't you comprehend? Allah is the one who created you and what you are making. So he created and he made them. So the creations, everything with Allah, or could mean he created it and he created the ones that you are making. In the hadith, Allah makes everything and everything that they made. So they went back to that killing, just like all tyrants, when they have no logic, when they cannot go to anything logically. When Musa and Fir'aun, they debated, and he asked him and he answered him. When he didn't have any more, he could not make sense. He said, if you make any God beside me, I'm going to make you among those who are imprisoned. So they wanted to oppress Ibrahim to show. So they said, we're going to build something and throw him in the hellfire. They built something that's big. I'm going to my Lord, he's going to guide me. Oh God, give me from the offsprings, the righteous. So Allah said about Ibrahim, after Allah gave him victory on his people, and he gave up on their faith, after they seen all these signs, he migrated from them. He said, I'm going to go to my God, he will guide me. Oh Allah, give me from the offsprings, from the righteous, people who will abide me. They will be better than his people and his clan that they disbelieved in Allah. So we give him the glad tidings of a son, and it was Ismail, because his first one, he is older than Ishaq. Even in the other books, Ismail was born and he was 80, and Ibrahim was 86, and Ishaq was 99 years old. And Allah ordered Ibrahim to slaughter his own son. But why they insist, why the people of the book, they insist that the one is Isaac, not Ismail? Because Ishaq, their father, and Ismail is the father of the Arabs. So they envy them on that. And they change that you only have. They said Ismail was taken with his mother to Mecca. That is changing what is true. When you say Wahid in the Arabic language, it's only the one that there's no other son beside it. Doesn't matter where he lives. And the first son, your love to him is great in the heart of his parents, to order to slaughter, it is more testing than the other. And if some of the scholars, they said Ishaq, of course this is from the people of the book. There is nothing on the Sunnah that indicate that. The Quran specified differently, because he gave the glad tidings of a good son, and then he called him the slaughtered, and then after that Allah said we gave him the glad tidings of Ishaq, and they said we're going to give glad tidings of a known son, and the glad tidings of Sarah that he will be have Ishaq, and for after him you'll see his your grandson Yaqub. So how he's gonna tell him to slaughter him when he knows that he's gonna have a son? This is contradiction to their story, to their scenario, because Allah has promised them that he's going to, that Allah will give him offspring. So how could he order to slaughter him young? So when he went to, he said, "Oh my son, I see that I slaughter you." When he was going with his father, and he go with him everywhere, and he was older, and he could follow his dad, and the son is always attached to his father at the age when he's getting strong. And he said, "Oh, I see that I'm slaughtering. So what do you think I should do?" And the citing of the Prophet, it is inspiration from Allah. So when he saw that he is slaughtering him, he knew it is an order. He knew from Allah. And it is an obligation from Allah for him to slaughter his own son. And he need to follow the order of Allah, and to follow Allah's order. So he said, "Oh my son, I see in my dream that I'm slaughtering you." So what did he tell him? So it will be easier for him. So he will check his patience and his youth on obedience of Allah Azza wa Jal and the obedience of his Prophet. And he, alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, "Oh my father, do whatever you're ordered. Do whatever Allah ordered you of my slaughter. You will find me, inshallah, among the patient. I will be patient, and I seek that with Allah Azza wa Jal." And he is truthful of what he told his father. Allah said, remember, talk about Ismail, he was truthful of the promise. So whenever they put Ibrahim mentioned Allah to slaughter, and Ismail made the shahada of death, meaning they gave up to Allah and they followed Allah's order. Ibrahim took to the order of Allah, and Ismail obedience to Allah and to his father. And he put his face so he could slaughter from the back, so he don't see his face when he slaughter him, so it'll be easier on him. So he put his face on the floor, on the ground. It was said that Ismail, he had a white shirt. He said, "Oh my father, I don't have another clothes beside, so take it. So take it out so he could." So he wanted to take it, and he was told, "Oh Ibrahim, you have believed in the scene," and then he saw a ram white that is big that Allah sent to give for Ismail. That's how we go to reward the good doers. It happened what you have of putting your submitting to Allah's order. So he put the knife on his neck and did not cut. Cover was in between that, and he was called, "You have believed in the dream," and that's how we go to reward those who are good doers, who follow our order and obedient. And he was obedient to Allah we take all the hardship and we make an ease out of everything for them. And Allah said, and whomever fear Allah, Allah give him a way out, and He give him sustenance from where he do not know, we do not expect. And whomever rely on Allah, Allah is his reliant. Allah is going to fulfill whatever He wants. Allah has made a decree for everything. Some scholars, they said about it is okay from the changing, because Allah allowed Ibrahim to slaughter his son, and then he changed his, and he took it to slaughter the ram before he slaughtered his son. Because what is meant to reward the companion of Allah for patience of slaughtering his son and his intention to do it. He was ordered, he obeyed Allah, and he went to fulfill it. So Allah was grateful for him for that. And He said, Ibrahim, the one who fulfilled the words of Allah. It is really, this is the true test, where he was ordered to slaughter his son, so he rushed, giving up to Allah Azza wa Jal. And Allah said, we have given him up with a great ram. He was there is different explanation about this ram. We stay away from it, but there was a great lessons in their story. And we said, peace on Ibrahim. Allah has put the acceptance to Ibrahim. On all the prophets, they all greet him every time they mention his name. Allah said, that's how we reward the good doers. He is among our believers, and we give him the great title of Ishaq, a prophet from the righteous. And we bless him and Ishaq, and from their offspring, good and bad. That is very clear. This is the story of the companion of Allah, the father of the prophets Ibrahim, as it is presented by Surah Safat, and we talked about it in different surahs before. What we missed in this, we hope that we could, if we missed something, you could go back on the previous surahs. Dear brother and sister, we'll stop here, inshallah. We'll